Hey guys, welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And tonight we're reviewing Demolition Man that was made in released in 1993.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I keep calling it made in, but actually it could have been made.
It was being made over a couple of years, so
Yes.
yeah. But
So-
yeah, released in '93. That's good enough.
Yeah, and this was released 2 years before Judge Dredd, just so you know.
Yes, interesting. So we will mention that later on in our what do you call it? NBIT summary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is another one of Stephen. It's not Stephen. Sylvester Stallone's movies. We did mention we did Judge Dredd just in our last review, so we thought we might continue by talking a bit about Demolition Man,
Which is a similar feel, action hero type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of many things about it. Just today, I was watching a bit of Sylvester Stallone's previous other films. You know, Rambo. I mean Rocky.
Yeah. Rambo.
I don't know why I said that. Sorry, but anyway,
I did that too.
True. But I gotta admit, I do like Rocky because the fact is that he written almost all of the scripts for Rocky.
He did, yeah. Well, hey, you had to pitch the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to pitch it to the first movie to the producers, and while the producers kept saying, "Oh, we want to audition so and so for this role," and Sylvester says, "If you don't accept me in this role, then you won't accept my script."
Yeah, so he pushed it, and he got in, and yeah.
Yes.
The rest is history, so they say.
Quite. So anyway, let's get down to Demolition Man. Who directs it, produces it, and writes it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Okay, the original storyline was put together by Peter Lenkov and Robert Renault. Now, the screenplay was written by those two gentlemen, with Daniel Waters coming on the screenplay team. It was directed by Marco Brambilla. It was his first time as a director. It was his debut. I think he'd been doing commercials and stuff before.
Yeah, I read somewhere that fans kind of help self-fund this film.
Who?
Fans,
did they?
To
wow.
help pay for the police uniforms,
Whatever.
to complete it.
Whatever.
So
Hey.
thanks to the fans for.
Yay,
so,
fans,
so
yay.
in this way, it's sort of an independent film too.
Well, I don't know how
In its
independent
own
it
way.
was. It wasn't that independent. But anyway, irrespective. Now,
Irrespective.
produced by Joel Silver, Michael Levy, and Howard Kazanjian, I think is the right pronunciation. That's a mouthful.
A lot.
Anyway, budget 77 mil,
Wow.
box office 159 mil. So it was a reasonable success, I would
Right.
say. Yes. Now,
Now
the cast.
The cast.
There was quite a lot of people involved, as one would expect in a movie of this magnitude. But the main ones are Sylvester Stallone plays John Spartan. He's the male lead, obviously. He's a policeman in the current time who gets into trouble and he gets cryogenically frozen and he gets taken out of the fridge a few decades later to follow the same enemy he was chasing
In the first movie.
In the first part of his life. Wesley Snipes, he's a naughty guy who was chasing in the first part of the movie, and they both got frozen. And well, actually, Wesley Snipes, he's playing a character Simon Phoenix, and he woke up for his parole hearing, and he escaped, and that's why John Spartan was defrosted to chase him.
And the next character on our list is
my
Sandra Bullock.
darling little Sandra Bullock. I think she's lovely.
Yeah, originally her role was going to go to another actress that we reviewed in the past. What's her name?
Laurie Petty.
Yeah, but I guess
I don't think. I like Laurie Petty. I don't think it would have worked. She's too scatterbrained in her approach to it. It had to be nice, a little bit comical, whatever. But like the little girl next door type person. Yeah.
pulls it off because she has that sweet innocent
and
character.
that's what it needed. This is the future when there's no crime, everyone's nice and friendly, and I don't think Laurie Petty would have actually suited that.
Yeah, she's more wild and crazy.
Yeah, she'd be
cool.
better off working with Vin Diesel in a Triple X movie or something or other,
something like that.
But yeah. Anyway, irrespective, and last but not leastly, what would you say, the real naughty guy behind the scenes is played by Nigel Hawthorne. He plays Dr. Raymond Cocteau.
Yeah, interesting thing about Nigel, he wasn't really fond of working with Sylvester or Wesley Snipes, sadly enough.
Well, that's
I don't know.
problem,
Maybe
he
could have been just. He's a professional.
He's an English actor.
Yeah, he's a professional while he's working with younger individuals in the field, and while a lot of people may see it as old stallion versus young stallion, this is
a different style of acting.
It's a different style of acting, a different style of filmmaking.
I mean, Nigel Hawthorne, I believe I saw him in Yes Minister, and then he did a couple of movies here and there. To me, Nigel Hawthorne is a good actor, but he's not as great as people. Well, this might, what you just said might imply. Yeah. I mean, Slide's been doing a couple of movies. Wesley Snipes done a few movies. Hello.
Yeah, different styles of acting and all that stuff.
So anyway, irrespective, I don't know too much about that, but I like Nigel in his roles he's played.
Yeah, and let me see, Rob Schroeder, who also starred in Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone in our past review.
What role
he's also he plays let me see, what's he play? He plays a police phone operator in this movie.
That's
and
right,
he co-stars with in this role.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But he's not a very big role.
He's only got a little bit. It must be the cold. Sorry, guys.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, and another interesting actor, even though he makes a cameo, not a very big role in this. And let me see, his name is Steve.
What's that? Oh, I can't read your handwriting.
Kahan.
Khan, maybe.
Yeah.
Steve Khan.
Yeah. See, he plays the Captain Hill, and in a previous movie he did a couple. Well, it's more of a film franchise where in Lethal Weapon, where he plays the captain in that.
Well, there you go. See, typecasting happens all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's everyone I can think of, but I'll bring up a few more because there's a lot of famous faces in this movie.
Yes. Well.
Yes, quite. So let's just dive into the movie.
Dive.
Yeah, and speaking of dive, in the opening scene, we see Los Angeles and Current day. I don't know how current.
Well, when the movie was made, let's say circa 1993.
Yes. So anyway, John Sparta is with two guys in a helicopter. One is called, let me see, his name's Zach Lem, a young Zach Lem, so you know.
Yep.
He plays an interesting part in the story.
Yeah, an older version of him shows up later on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're there to scout for a horrible terrorist guy named Simon Phoenix. And Simon Felix has kind of abducted some people from a bus and took them into a secret location somewhere.
A big warehouse building type thing, yeah.
Well, not so secret.
Well, everyone knew where it was.
Yes,
but
anyway.
They traced him there.
Yeah, soon enough, Sparta comes there, he shoots up the bad guys, but at the same time, he doesn't find any of the survivors.
Yeah, they do a scan of the building. Actually, it's the part that bugs me. And I said to you when I watched it the other day, to refresh my memory, before he went into this building, he did a scan, and all he could find was a half a dozen or so of Simon Phoenix's henchmen. He didn't find any hostages anywhere in the building.
Yes.
Now, later on, the building gets blown up by Simon Phoenix, and they find the dead bodies of all of the hostages.
Yeah, and they blame dear old Sparta for jumping into action and not taking into note of the fact there might be a few survivors in there.
They believe Simon Phoenix say, I told him that the hostages are here, but he said, I don't care. Well, you would think if he did a scan of the building, it'd be recorded somewhere in a computer somewhere they did a scan.
Yeah.
And there was only so many life forces found in the building. So they believe the naughty guy.
Yeah, and they thought, and they think Sparta run the risk of doing this.
Yeah.
So they then tell him that since you did this, you're going to be under arrest and going to prison. And technically, prison is different in this world.
Cryogenic prison.
Yes, where everyone gets frozen and they stay there until a certain number of years. And it's kind of sad for Sparta because he never got around to saying goodbye to his daughter and
or
his
wife
wife.
And stuff. And he wasn't really naughty, was he?
No. So anyway, it's an interesting scene in this one. We watch him getting frozen. I think I read somewhere Sylvester Stallone was not really happy with the scene because he didn't like the fact he was Scotch naked in it. How naked? Well, down to his birthday suit.
Yeah, very, very happy birthday to you.
So anyway, but luckily the camera was able to not show anything
it's a
bad.
very good filming there. You did not see anything. You always see his torso, but you didn't see anything. So yeah, it was good. Good filming, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets frozen and everything, and many trillions of years later, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Well, it feels like the years later, it turns into a very more of like a peach-colored world, if you will, guys. Like a nanny state, if you can imagine, where everything is perfect, zero crime, zero deaths. Well, not deaths of a horrible nature.
It's about 35 years after he was frozen.
Yeah,
not millions and trillions.
Well,
of
it
years.
feels like millions and trillions of years because in this world, everything's different. Like there's no crime, there is zero bad guys,
zero free will,
and zero free will, all that stuff. And the thing that all the things you may think is either crazy or weird have been removed from that society.
Yeah, and anything was
like comics or radical music or cool stuff like that.
There a line in the movie says, it says anything that isn't good for you is deemed bad for you, and if it's bad for you, it's deemed to be illegal.
Yeah.
So you don't have access to it. So let's say you liked really junky food, gave you high cholesterol. That was bad for you, so they made the legal so you couldn't have it. So you couldn't eat your burgers and fries and nuggets and chips for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah,
or you cannot listen to music that has obscene language.
Or even suggestive language or anything else.
Yeah, because the only thing you get to hear is the old 1950s or 1940s ads.
They're called mini tunes. They're adverts, and that's all we're listening to again.
Take me back to the fridge.
That's an interesting part of the movie. He says he didn't want to be in the future.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'll get back to the story itself. So Sandra Bullock's character is she likes the old world stuff, and she's disappointed that as a police lady she has zero things to do, and
there's no crime anymore.
Yeah.
You don't even get a jaywalking person,
Yeah, the only thing that they grieving about is unexpected street art or graffiti being put on walls.
And that wouldn't happen very often.
No. Yeah, and it's not really. It doesn't last. It gets disintegrated off the wall because of a special laser on the walls that destroys it instantly.
Bad. No advertising.
Yes, and this is done by sort of a bit of a group of people living down below who are sort of scavengers and thieves and stuff. Well, not thieves, they're outcasts.
Well, the people who you don't want to be part of this new society,
Yeah.
this new utopia.
Yeah.
They want to do their own thing, have free will and whatever. So they're
and
they're a
it's
bit like the Morlocks in Time
Yeah.
Machine. They live underground and living a different existence.
and led by Edgar Friendly.
What a great name.
Very clever. So anyway, moving on. So while things are creamy coloured and everything, one of the psychiatrist guys at the prison interviews, guess who? Simon Phoenix. And Simon Phoenix is a bit disagreeable here. Well, not really disagreeable, because all the other patients, they're practically they're not meant to be hostile or anything, because they're programmed to
they're getting big conditioned memory implants and stuff.
programmed to learn new things that could make them re-emerge in society as normal people.
Yeah.
Supposedly, but fortunately, but so anyway, he kind of becomes disagreeable, and somehow he's able to, break free of his restraints.
He had a password given to him while he was asleep.
Yeah,
he didn't know where he got it from.
Yeah, he just says, "I wish I knew," but he soon took out both security guards and the psychiatrist, and he breaks out of there using. He plucks out one of the psychiatrist's eye.
Do a retina scan or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting, hey?
Yeah, and when the police hear about the murder, death, kill code, what's it called? I don't know. I don't know the codes, obviously. I'm not a policewoman.
They made up their own codes, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on.
And they're a bit surprised, like they never heard a murder, death, kill code in this world. So it's all new, like old school knowledge that's forgotten, whatever.
Well, they weren't trained in handling that sort of crime.
No. Anyway, they find out the Simon also stole a car and killed another person there.
Yeah, stuff.
He soon comes to a computer that's in the park, where he types in all sorts of stuff,
and he gets all this weird, wonderful information and stuff. And he said, "How the hell am I doing this?"
Yeah, he's like saying, "Man, I'm possessed. Maybe I could play the accordion too."
He had no idea where he's getting all these skills from.
Yes. He then hears this mysterious voice in his head saying, "Don't you have a job to do? Don't you have someone to kill?" And he's suggesting he should go and kill Edgar Friendly.
Yeah.
A person he doesn't even know exists until now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's got a job to do. Yeah.
So the policemen were able to send out some cops around there, and their way of doing things is by computer, by telling them get the thug to lie on the ground, face down, or else.
Yeah, so just give them all the words, and they had no idea how to really do it.
Yeah, not really well.
Like reading a script, so, you're being very naughty. You go and lie down, or I'll get really cross at you. Now, it doesn't really work,
Yeah, and eventually Simon, again, takes down the policemen.
And
I think there's about 6 or 5 of them.
5 or 6, yeah.
And he pretty much takes one of their special rods, sort of like a.
It's electronic, like a bit like a cattle prod, but not quite so bad.
He takes one of their stick things and sticks it into possibly the gas cylinder, and
it blows up the car.
Yeah. Anyway, they're at their wits' ends, and so the president, Cocktail, whatever his name is, tells them, do everything in your power to get rid of this menace.
Along comes our little friend Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, and Zach Lem, the older version, which is done by, let me see, who is he done by? Bill Cobbs. He's been in a lot of movies, I think, and he suggests. I'm amazed that Zach Lem didn't become the chief of police in this, because he
had more skills.
Because he had more skills, more knowledge. He's a lot older than all the rookies, policemen.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't want to.
Well, maybe, or maybe it's a choice, or maybe he's just too old.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Anyway, so he suggests to him to the policeman to defrost John Spartan, and hopefully he'll take down Simon Phoenix
yet again.
Yes. So they do that, just that. And unlike Simon Phoenix, who was given all this knowledge about the future,
He wasn't given knowledge about the future. He was given skills. Martial arts skills, computer skills, all this other good groovy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, John Sparta has not very much knowledge about this world.
He'd been reprogrammed in the what do you call it? In sewing and knitting. To be a seamstress and that sort of stuff.
That's
oh, Peachy, that's going to go a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. So anyway, he's a little sad that his wife and his child, that his wife died. Just so you know.
In a big one.
In a big earthquake, that they called it. They called it a big one. I guess
his daughter didn't die.
No, she's still around, but
he didn't want to meet his daughter because he might think he's some fossil from the Stone Age, so he didn't want to do anything. Didn't want to catch up.
There was going to be a deleted scene that they were going to include in this movie of his daughter and his wife, but it never came into production. Shame. I would have loved to have known what his relationship was like with his wife and with his kid.
It would have been nice, a bit of retro stuff, but it wasn't necessary.
No, it would have slowed down progress, I guess.
Well, it was already a long movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so he does meet up with Zach, and they bonded a bit shortly, and he's a little surprised that he's given such a low police role in this movie.
A desk job.
Yes. Yeah. And he even swears a couple of times, and there's a device there where you get a fine for saying swear words.
Yeah, if you swear, you get fined 1 credit or something, or you get whatever, and it puts out a piece of paper.
Yeah, saying you'll find 1 credit, yada yada. Sort of like when you go, if you got a fine for doing something bad in a car.
Yeah, but the thing is, the modern day toilets don't use toilet paper. Where you have 3
just
seashells.
A weird shell thing.
But no one tells him, John Spartan, how he uses 3 seashells. And he said that, there's no toilet paper in your toilet. And everyone thinks a bit of a chuckle.
They think that he should know. But how was he supposed to know that?
He's been away for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And anyway, he starts, every time he swears, he gets a piece of paper, so he says...
So much for the free seashells.
So swear, gets a handful of paper, so back in a minute. So he got his wad of paper, and he went back to the toilet in that cute...
Yeah, so later on, they discuss what Simon Phoenix's next plan is, while the head chief policeman guy says that most likely Simon would develop a chemical lab and develop a crime center that way, but... John Spartan had a different theory. He says that Simon will be looking for a weapon.
Yeah, he wants firearms.
Yeah, he would not need...
What would you know? Well, the computer told the other guy what to do, but John Spartan knew better.
Well, that's the thing. You need weapons, and you need a bunch of people working for you. You can't... you can't really go and recruit someone out there, can you? Most of them would... Well, I don't know what you got in your country, in America, in England, or whatever, but there's obviously online sites to get jobs. Yeah, but bear in mind, Mike, that they would have them recruit them on the streets, like people who are not... You can't advertise for hired killers and stuff. No. Right. Okay. I'll stand corrected. And Simon Phoenix is new in this world, and he doesn't have any friends. All his friends are in the fridge. Yeah. Anyway, the chief of police say the only way you can get a weapon is at a museum, and this clicks into Sparta's head and everyone around him. Thinking, well, not everyone around him. Yeah. Sandra Bullock and she says that there's no way they could he removed the guns from them because they would be under special glass and special, alarm systems and whatever, lockdowns, and he did. But he did. He ended up taking one of the security guards' bodies and flung it right through the glass. And it shattered. Wasn't very good security glass, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, and he was able to get some weapons and some modern day stuff too. Yeah, he said, "Where's the Star Wars stuff?" He had some sort of electronic special impulse gun or something like that. Where you just recharge it, probably from the wall, maybe, I'm not sure. No, we could have our own little battery pack, whatever. Anyway, Sparta gets into the police car with a few of the policemen, along with Sandra Bullock, and while he then listens to their modern music, and it sounds awful.
Commercials.
As we said, it's just awful. And just like I
Put
said,
it back in the fridge. Yeah, back there.
So he then goes to the museum, and he then tells Alfredo Garcia, "Hey, Luke Skywalker," when he's taking his computer off him, saying, "Use the Force," meaning use your brain, not just the computer.
Yeah.
Well, his computer was just saying, "You must go in contact with the terrorist guy," and well, that's good and well, but what are you going to say to him? Are you going to say, "Please, please, please come out of there, we won't hurt you, yada, yada, yada," as if that's going to work?
Yeah. It wouldn't work for me.
No.
No.
Anyway, he heads inside, and Sparta and Simon, they begin a fight with modern day guns
And some old ones.
and some old stuff, and of course he didn't really have a use for that weird stick thing, although he did put it into the water and it then sharpened some sparks.
Yeah, he did a bit. He used it a bit. But anyway, they had a big fight in the museum and trashed the place, like one would expect in this sort of movie.
And of course, dear Simon escapes, and he runs into Mayor Cocktail, whatever, or Mayor or President. I'm not sure.
Well, could be the mayor. Didn't he say they just called him as Dr. Cocktail or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Dr. Cocktail, whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he
maybe
meets,
the mayor.
Yeah, he's about to shoot him in probably the head, but somehow he can't do it for gosh knows
He's been
reason.
programmed not to kill him.
He then tells him, reminds him that he has a job to do to go and kill Edgar Friendly, and it clicks in the fact who has programmed him to do that.
This guy, this cocktail guy,
Yes.
he wants to create a bit of anarchy in there and stuff, and disruption, so he could
Kill him.
get Edgar Friendly guy out of the way and prove that he's in control and a good guy and the other guy's a bad guys. Whatever.
Whatever.
Some good storyline.
Yeah. Eventually, Simon scatters away, and Sparta meets Cocktail, and he says, "Oh, thank you for saving me," all that stuff. Ooh. And he suggested that they meet up to meet up for dinner at
Taco Bell. Now the point. Now I'm gonna stop here.
Okay.
Because there's a bit of a problem with this.
Yeah, I agree.
In the original movie, it was Taco Bell. Now it's some story about the franchise wars, and and the one who won out in the end was Taco Bell. So every restaurant's Taco Bell. So they wouldn't necessarily be eating tacos. So, but irrespective, Burger King and McDonald's were offered that product placement, and they declined it. Taco Bell said, "Yes, thank you very much." But so many years later, after the movie had been produced and been circulating, it's been changed to Pizza Hut, and they've CGI'd some of the signage in the movie.
Yeah, not really successfully, if I might add.
Yeah, no, they've done it. The close-up ones say Pizza Hut, but you can see the ones in the background saying Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Why would they bother?
I don't know.
Unless they had some sort of dispute about royalties, licensing fees or something. I really don't know, but why would you go to that end degree after the money's been made on the film, when it's probably already been home released and everyone's got a copy saying Taco Bell? Why would you bother changing it?
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't the company that asked to product placement of it, won't they have something to say about it?
Well, they might have had an argument. It could have been a breach of contract. Oh, I don't know. I can't find anything on it. Well, what a waste of time. It's already been through the cinemas and it's already out in home media. Most people have had their copies of it.
Yeah, and not to mention the voices they had to...
They had the voiceovers for it.
Yeah, you could tell right away how new the audio is. I heard it and know right away that it's already been dubbed in.
Yeah, and why would you bother? I mean, it's a big job and fiddly, and
a
why
lot of
the
people
hell?
Put out to work really hard on this.
Anyway, let's moving on.
Along, so they start trying to organize a manhunt for Simon Phoenix, which doesn't go so well because Simon Phoenix goes to
he goes to ground.
Yeah.
Well, literally underground, where Edgar Friendly and his people live.
Yeah, they live underground, so you see, because that's the original area of where the original part of of Los Angeles is.
Yeah,
The rest of it, the top part, is actually
it's been
layered.
all over it somehow or other. Yeah, I don't know why, but I think it's some places around the world, even in America, some town or city where they've actually gone up a level and you've still got some of the old place underground.
Yeah.
But why bother? Why don't you just steamroll a bulldozer, blow it up and level it, backfill it, and actually do it properly?
I don't know. I don't know, Mike. Yeah. So anyway, John and
Sandra?
What's her name? What's her character's name again?
Lenina Huxley.
Oh, Lenina Huxley.
Just say Sandra Bullock.
Okay, Sandra Bullock. Sorry. So they go to Pizza Hut. I can't get used to saying that.
Taco Bell. No.
I'm used to saying Taco Bell after watching it the first time. So anyway. So they go to the restaurant and dear old Dr. Cocktail is there, along with his assistant, whom you may have heard of, named Glenn. I don't know his last. I know it's
Shaddix, is it?
Yeah, he's been in Beetlejuice, the Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
So he stars in a character in that, and this one he's sort of assistant to dear old Cocktail named Bob.
Bob. Associate Bob.
Well, Bob.
Hello, Bob. Hey, I prefer Bob the Blob, actually.
So anyway, they go there, and of course the food is okay looking, and of course Sparta says, "Where is the salt? Pass the salt." And Sandra says, "Salt is illegal and all that stuff."
If salt's bad for you, so it doesn't be illegal. So blah 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 blah.
There goes my taste buds.
I was gonna say, how about a beer? Yeah, probably there's no beer either. No bourbon.
Yeah, only milkshakes and probably soft drinks.
Fruit juice and
maybe
water. And what a boring life, guys.
Yeah.
Not like a good Jack Daniels or a Jimmy Bean or something rather.
Whatever. So anyway, so Cartel questions him about his time in the, in his incarceration in Frost, and John Sparta says that when he was under the Frost, he had feelings and thoughts, and even had a nightmare of people being burnt in a building.
And his wife.
And his wife beating on the block of ice because she never gets to see her husband.
And he said, I was having a 30-odd-year nightmare. And he didn't believe him.
Yeah, he said that you're awake. That's impossible. But I think no one is bothered to ask the prisoners what they thought when they were underneath all that ice.
I mean, you would think that everything's slowed down to nothing, but you don't know.
Yeah, they probably just... it's okay if they probably experimented on a person for a month and never thought he had dreams or maybe a nightmare underneath all that the ice.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do it a dog or a cat, they're not going to tell you.
But if this is like years and years, like say
about 35 years.
35 years, you might have nightmares and dreams and stuff like that.
You would.
Anyway, just then, John Sparta notices a bunch of the gang people from under the ground appear, and they're going to rob a food truck to get some food. Yeah,
because they're hungry. Yeah.
Yes.
See, they weren't really nasty guys. They pop up, steal some food, and go back down underground again.
Yeah. So they end up taking the food, and of course everyone cheers and thinks that John has done a great thing, and Cartel tells him about how these guys are a society of thieves and stuff like that. Yeah. But John is a little less pleased because that these people...
He realised they weren't stealing food. Yeah. They weren't stealing money or anything else or doing any malicious damage, just stealing food because they're hungry. Yeah,
he says that hurting people is not a good thing. Sometimes it is, but not when a bunch of people are trying to find food to eat.
Yeah, exactly right.
Nothing to snork at or snigger at.
What? Snigger at, yeah.
Anyway, he on the way home, once he gets back to Sandra's motel or hotel.
Or a unit.
Or unit of sorts.
Or accommodation.
Yeah.
Her domicile.
So anyway, she suggests they have sex.
Yes. And he's thinking, oh yes, man. The old hunky chunga or the blony pony. No, they're more like Barbarella type having sex.
Yeah, where you stick a headset on.
And they use a little computer to generate subconscious...
imagination sex.
Yeah, whatever,
Like...
subconscious imagination and having sex
without,
in your head without touching anybody.
Yeah, and of course.
I would rather do it the old way.
Yeah, and by the it does look a bit rather weird.
And Sandra Bullock is really raunchy in the dreams, the subconscious bit, isn't she?
Yeah, and of course it feels weird for John to wear the headset, and he takes it off and says that why don't we just do it the old-fashioned way? And she's like, "Ugh, disgusting."
How gross! Yeah.
I bet she's like a virgin when.
Well, it would have been a virgin. No one's having sex.
Yes, and he says, "What about procreation? You know, getting
Babies,
kids and children."
It's done in the laboratory.
And she says in a lab, in a laboratory, just so you guys know, apart from no touchy sex activity, they don't even touch hands in this. Like, there's a lot of social distance in this movie.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But actually, it's quite funny. You talked about that procreation laboratories. I think there was a book. Now, I'm stretching my brain here, guys. I could be wrong. I think it was a Brave New World, and I think Aldous Huxley wrote it. And it had a very similar modern theme to society. The kids were actually born in a laboratory environment and that sort of stuff, and they didn't really have parents in the technical sense. You know,
that's a shrag.
No, that's the way of the future as seen by the writer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, she wants John Sparta to leave, and he's given accommodations. So like down the hall from Lena's house place.
Yeah.
And he also has some footage of sort of CCTV footage
of
the scene with Simon Phoenix and the cocktail and
having a chat.
Yeah, and according to John Sparta, it was too long of a chat because it does take a lot longer it doesn't take that long to get a bullet into someone's head.
What he actually said is, when Simon Phoenix came out of his escape hole window, something or other in the museum, and he came over there, tried to shoot Dr. Cocteau, and he couldn't, and Cocteau was talking to him, and for about 10 seconds, and Spartan says, when the guy like that is with you, that's about, you got for 10 seconds, he's going to kill you, that's about 9.5 seconds too long.
Yeah.
So he's going to shoot him straight away. So something wasn't quite right.
Yeah. So that very night, Cocktail, Simon Phoenix visits Cocktail and asks him about all these gifts he's been given in his mind.
Yeah, he's just like Santa Claus.
Yes. Anyway, he asks about why he's given these things, and Cocktails tells him that he wants him to kill Ego-friendly to prevent an uprising.
Yeah, and to cement his place in society here.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes. So he wants because I think he sees him as a big threat because half of the people are outcasts, and that's like.
And it's hundreds of them.
And and the rest of the people upstairs are just say half of that too, and. It's like he hasn't got any control of all the society. I mean,
no, he wants total control.
He wants total control of everybody.
Big Brother is watching.
Ooh. So anyway, he suggests that in return for Simon's help, he'll stuff John Sparta back in the fridge.
Yay!
And probably give him a Malibu, probably as
what?
Malibu, Los Angeles.
Oh
area.
no, you're going to give him Malibu. Yes, some different areas around the place to be his own area where he can wreak havoc and do whatever he likes. Yeah.
But who knows what Malibu looks like now?
Oh, in the future, it might be nice. It's just nice now, I believe.
If Los Angeles was glossed over like in that area, then I'm no doubt the rest of the area is going to look like glossed over like that.
Very nice, pretty and upgraded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. Move on.
The next morning, John meets up with Sandra, and he tells her how sorry he is, and gives her a nice knitted sweater.
Yeah, which he knitted that night.
Yeah.
I couldn't knit a sweater in 6 months.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a little upset that his rehab programs in his head were because that he's become a seamstress while Simon is given all these skills.
Weapons training, martial arts, computer, blah, blah, blah.
They even access his rehabilitation program, and it has all the stuff.
All the nasty things you didn't want.
And this horrifies Lena Huxley.
Lena, yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh, this is just going to create a horrible monster, not a proper...
nice human being, yes.
Yeah, and John Sparta suggests maybe we should go to Dr. Cocktail, and find out why he's reprogrammed Simon into this monster. But Lena says, no, John Sparta, you don't accuse our leader in this way. It's rude. Her words, just so you know.
Cute.
She's a cute person, but she doesn't see the whole picture that someone like this does not do it just for the practical fun of it.
Yeah.
They have motives.
Oh, yes. Still tickets to the movie.
Yeah, so anyway, they go to Cocktail's, headquarters or whatever, and John gives him a horrible talking down to, telling him how 10 seconds is too long for Simon to just put a bullet in his head.
Yeah. So you weren't lucky something was going on. He knew.
Yes, but dear old Cocktail says to Lena, arrest John for all this stuff and stuff him back in the fridge. But they don't do this. They suggest to go down into the lower parts of the city to find Simon's Phoenix, because John Sparta figures that he is down there because the wide man spread hunt didn't work because he was in the one place that no one would go.
And they couldn't monitor. Underground.
So he goes down there, and before we get down there, Sandra's character says, I'm with you. Let's go blow this guy.
Oh, look.
I think I could...
Are you going to tell them what they had for breakfast as well? Why don't you leave a couple of things?
But the interesting thing about Sandra's character is she makes up all her dialogue.
Yeah, all the slangs and friendly little colloquialisms, whatever. She gets them wrong all the way through.
But then again, when you think about it, she's been forced not to swear, in this world.
But she studied the 20th century and she got most of it wrong.
So, anyway, back to the movie. So, they head into the wastelands, and it's not as hostile as people make out.
Yeah, they frighten people.
Yeah, and including...
living in squalor.
Yeah, even John Sparta was able to get a proper hamburger
a rat burger.
Yeah.
Someone said, well, if it smelled, that smells so great.
And some nice beer.
Someone said, you see any cows down here? Ask them what it's made out of. Blah, 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 blah. It's speaking in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish. I got the word ratus at the end of it. He said, rat burger.
You liked it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Well, as long as they clean the meat and all that.
Well, I was going to say that rat is only as dirty as its environment.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I think that if it's clean and well... And the meat, and it's just the meat you're eating, then it may be okay.
Exactly. People have birds, quails. Some people eat lizards, goannas and everything.
Yes.
So it's.
He also had a beer too. So I guess someone down there
is brewing something,
distilling some stuff.
Well, you need a beer. Anyway, why not?
So they then walk around and notice that a lot of the people down there are not your typical terrorist type groups.
They're really nice people.
Yeah, most of the people were homeless, scared and frightened. And who could blame them? They don't see too many policemen down there very often, do they?
Yeah, no one's game to go down there. But they might get a boo-boo.
Yeah, even Lena says they don't seem so hostile, John Spartan, and he says no, they don't.
They look hungry. No.
Yeah. Anyway, they then spot something that is something you've never seen before in there, a fancy car that's probably never seen the light of day for say several years.
Since before the apocalypse. How's that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, and
an Oldsmobile. Very nice. Not for everyone.
Yeah, and this is where we run into Edgar Friendly, and they think that he's being very hostile. He's even has his own old-fashioned weapons.
And he's going to have an altercation there with John Spartan. And John Spartan tells him what he's really down there for. He's looking for the guy who's hired to kill him.
Yeah, yeah. Edgar Friendly does acts really interesting in the scene. I like it when he says, "You just tell Cartel to kiss my you-know-what," and he then goes on the fact that he wants to do things that he wants his
he
way.
wants to have free will.
Yeah, he wants to.
Which is good.
Yeah, he wants to eat fat foods. He doesn't care about whether or not it makes him bad for him.
He gets cholesterol, whatever. Doesn't really care,
Yeah. Even his men laugh at that.
No, the point. I mean, when you think about it, if you don't have free will to a certain degree in society, you need obviously some governing rules. I mean, it's not an existence. It's not a life. It's just I'm gonna hang around until I die.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing there to inspire you to do anything.
Yeah. So anyway, then John tells them, I think that Cartel is there. It's brought down Simon Phoenix to kill you. So, and then he explains the situation and thinks, and even Edgar thought this is kind of interesting that this guy was defrosted because for my sake, I'm flattered.
Yeah,
John explains, don't be flattered. This guy's a homicidal maniac.
Yeah, really.
Meanwhile,
and he is too.
Down there, a lot of other Simon Phoenix earlier asked Cocktail to defrost other members of his gang who were under defrost.
Yeah.
And they all agreed to go ahead and do, what Simon was instructed to kill Edgar Friendly. Anyway, Simon does see them down there and says, "Oh, I must have done something wonderful in my previous life. Can't imagine what it was." Yeah, and he was excited about the 2 for the price of 1, meaning he
Edgar
kill John
Friendly.
Spartan and kill Edgar Friendly.
Exactly.
What a good package deal.
A doubleheader. Yeah.
Yes. So they end up firing, and there's a bit of a mix of deaths here. I won't mention. It doesn't matter to me. So anyway, and then Simon ends up getting out of the manhole, getting out of the underground, and then gets into the police car. And while this is happening, John and Lena Huxley end up going inside the really rare and awesome red car.
Oldsmobile.
Yes.
Very nice.
And
convertible.
Yeah.
Convertible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they end up heading to the second level in an old elevator shaft.
Which is quite surprising whether it's still working. and I'm quite surprised that the tyres on the car were still pumped up. Looked like the car was brand new. But anyway,
But it was really great too that John remembers to power this kind of old mobile. I think it's kind of cool, especially.
And the fuel would have been off by now too.
But it doesn't matter. So anyway, they have a brief car chase, and at one point, Lena's driving the car, having no knowledge of. Well, she has knowledge of driving
Future cars, but
cars,
not old
but
cars.
past cars. But anyway, John ends up jumping onto the police car, and he fights that with Simon Phoenix, and Simon Phoenix even admits that all the people that died in the past were actually already dead. He killed them and his men killed them.
Yeah, they're already dead. Yeah.
Meaning John didn't realize the truth.
He didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, and and soon enough, Simon escapes the car, and the car malfunctions. He tries to get it, get it off autopilot, but something goes wrong, and they crash right into the Sub Angela's police
Fountain out front. Yeah.
And he gets styrofoam wrapped around him.
Some sort of foamy sort of stuff comes out there and stops it, like a futuristic airbag.
Anyway, Lena Huxley drives up and she tries to tap on the windscreen, or what remains of the windscreen.
Well, the foamy stuff.
Yeah, and soon enough he gets out and he's covered in
With white crap.
Yeah, and he remarks, "Don't worry, all I need is a needle and a thread." And he says, "I really didn't say that, did I?"
Yeah.
Yes, and that's not really masculine.
I was training.
Yes, of course the police not too thrilled. They smashed the car into the police station.
Well, it could be worse. Could have run over somebody at the police station. Yeah.
Soon enough,
carry on.
Yes, soon enough the outsiders, they arrive also on the streets, and the police are a little bit worried that they're going to be manhandled by them, but they're harmless, as we figured out. And John Spartan borrows a few guns from them. And, of course, the chief of police says, you take these guns from these people who just happen to be outsiders. And Edgar Fernig says, we use these guns for grocery shopping.
Yeah, great, yeah. Exactly right.
And of course, the chief wants to arrest John Spartan and all that stuff, but John just says, "Skip it, chief." And Linus Huxley says to him, "Chief, you can take this job and you shovel it." And John Spartan says, "Take this job and shovel it." Close enough. I love that bit.
That was rather funny.
And meanwhile, Simon is back at Cocktail's place, and Cocktail is amused at the fact that Simon has caused chaos in the streets, yada yada yada, but Simon is getting fed up about working for this creepo, so he gets one of his men to shoot him.
Because they weren't programmed not to shoot him.
Yes.
He forgot about that.
And soon enough, they decide to go ahead and defrost more of the prisoners in the
cryogenic area.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a great time. Oh, all his old friends are in there. Yeah.
Why not? So anyway, Lena and John, they head inside the building, and they get tackled by a couple of Simon's men. But luckily enough, John and Lena were able to knock them out. And it's surprisingly in the scene, Lena is able to. She kind of really gets into the martial arts thing.
And Spartan says, where'd you learn that? It says Jackie Chan movies, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jackie Chan movies.
She really got really into them, unlike the other policemen who just did it whimperly.
Yeah.
Who cares? They have no knowledge of modern
Jackie Chan movies are all really good.
Yeah. Soon enough, they hear what Simon's got planned, and they make their plans to go and try to take him by force. Of course, John, being the good Samaritan, decides to let Lena skip this one out.
Yeah, he knocks her out.
Yeah, in a nice way.
With the glow stick thing,
Yeah. Anyway, he then takes the car and rams it into the parking lot and makes his way down to the cryogenics freezing area.
And had a big fight down there.
Yeah, they have a fight. There's a bit of blood, but not blood, and a bit of frost. And I love this bit of dialogue he says in this scene when it's freezing cold, and he says, "Is it cold in here, or is it just me?" Simon says the same thing at the opening.
At the beginning of the movie.
But I think this one suits this scene a lot more better because it's frozen, it's creepy, and it's kind of a great comeback.
And John Spartan has a thing in his hand which has a thing in it which helps the freezing process for the cryogenics.
Yeah.
He smashes on the ground and it starts off this chain reaction to freeze everything.
Yeah, John Spartan just froze it on the ground and it frosts everything.
Including
Simon Phoenix.
And John Spartan jumps up and gets away from everything, so he doesn't get frozen in the process.
Yeah, and then he uses his foot after Phoenix's whole body's frozen. He then uses his foot and kicks Simon's head off his body, and
it rolls on the ground and it smashes.
Yeah, and while this is happening, the whole cryogenics area is exploding. Boom, boom, boom.
Because the cold of this chain reaction thing here is starting to set everything off and break it all,
and destroying the whole cryogenic prison completely.
It destroys it, goes boom. Mm-hmm. It's like in Demolition, not Demolition, in the Lawnmower Man. He blew that one up, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of it, when he's in there, at the end of the movie, he was going to blow it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
whatever.
So John comes outside. Everything is, all the policemen are there, and they say, "Have you up and handed Simon Phoenix?" And they said, "Not exactly up and handed because he's now history."
He's not up and handed at all.
And the cryogenics, that's history too.
And the chief of police says, "What are we going to do? Society is
doomed."
Doomed.
But Edgar Friendly suggests they should all go get pissed and create a little bit of fun chaos.
Yeah. And John Spartan says, you put your heads together and you'll sort it out and meet in the middle somewhere. Find some middle ground.
Yeah, I like to think that Edgar Friendly would turn into a politician, maybe.
He could be a good leader,
Yeah, it seems like it's going into that general direction.
Well, it's heading that way, Edgar Friendly is a nice man.
Bob, the associate to Cartel, is there trying to, and he says, "Suck up," and he says, "Bob, let's think about your outfit first. You look like a couch."
And do something about your hair.
Yes.
Choose colour.
Yes. I gotta admit, I like. Anyway, Lalina soon appears, and she says, "Thank you for knocking me unconscious."
No, rendering me unconscious. He always had perfect English. He did. Yeah.
Yes, and he then gives her a hero's kiss.
And she said, "Wow."
He's all.
And wait a minute. She says, "A raw fluid exchange is not as great as that."
And he says, "Better."
Even better. So she grabs him and kisses him, and then they wander off like, we know what's going to happen next, don't we, folks?
Yeah. Meaning she might get her first time doing it.
Her hunker chunker time, yeah.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, if I haven't mentioned it earlier, that Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone, they were actually good friends on this production, and she considers him like her older brother.
Oh, lovely.
So it's nice that they got along. I like it when actors get along with one another and they think of each other as family.
Anyway, that was it. They rode off into the sunset or whatever, yeah.
Quite right.
Anyway, that was a sort of long storyline. However, you get the gist of it now, don't you?
Yeah, and the title was taken from the Police song of the same name, hence the use of Sting to remake the song for the movie.
Was the song made first?
I think the song was first.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it was remade, to suit this one too.
They may have made it for the movie. They may not have. I don't know. But yeah, Demolition Man was a good movie and a good song. Anyway,
and just so you guys know, seeing as this was called Lost was renamed San Angeles, not Los Angeles. The name was taken from Blade Runner in 1982. It was going to be the name of the city in that movie.
Okay, didn't know that.
But
Very good.
But they didn't use it, sadly. Anyway. Anyway, the open set that was inspired by the Los Angeles riot that happened just 6 months before filming began. There was a bit of a riot in the beginning opening.
That's okay. Yeah, the beginning of the end, that sort of stuff. Yeah. A bit of stock footage from the newsreels. Yeah.
Well, not stock footage. Just they just got inspired by the probably footage.
Oh, whatever then. Anyway. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't want to talk another thing about the wardrobe for the future world. Most of the characters were wearing Japanese kimono style outfits.
Yeah, they had the Japanese feel. I must admit, sort of a kimono type wraparound sort of. Interesting.
Yeah, another thing about the wardrobe, Wesley's shoulder pads are made out of tire treads and other car parts. But then again, that makes a little sense.
Yeah, well, it could have been.
People, I think a lot of the ones who were living, the outcasts, wore clothing out of sort of material such as that.
Yeah, interesting. Now, I was reading something here earlier on. Steven Seagal had originally been attached as a leading actor. He would have been doing Stallone's bit, and Jean-Claude Van Damme is going to be do the Wesley Snipes bit, and
that would make a little sense.
I do love Steven Seagal movies.
Me too.
But apart from being a martial arts guy in the movies, I mean, Stallone's got a more rougher, street hardened, personality in these movies. I don't think Seagal's got the same sort of personality. He can play a policeman, he can do whatever he likes, do an action hero, but you need a personality. And you mentioned to me earlier on, but you got the Rocky movies, and you got your Rambo movies, and you got this, and you got the same personality coming out of Stallone. And I think it's Stallone's real personality that he brings into making these parts, these roles work. And Stallone is Stallone, and Stallone, whether he's a good actor or a bad actor in someone's eyes, doesn't matter. But the point is that the roles he goes into, he does something with them. He does the Stallone magic, if you will.
Yeah. Another thing about Sylvester and Wesley, they both appeared in the Expendable movie
Expendables,
3, I should say, that was made in that was released in year 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah. I've seen this Expendables 1 and 2. I don't know about 3. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and as I said before, the fans had paid over $1,004 for St. Angela's Police Department uniforms worn in the movie. So this is, as you said before, you said the director was this is his first major feature.
His first feature at all. No, his first debut. His first feature film. He used to do commercials and stuff.
Yeah, so this is first one, and
He did great.
so it's sort of like an independent film for him.
Well, I might not be independent, but for him it was good. He did great.
Yeah, and he made it work.
Yeah.
I can admit it's clever how he did it.
Well, I don't know, clever. I mean, it's a good director to me has to have the mind of an artist.
Exactly so.
You got to be able to see it. And he said, I want this sort of thing happening. So you go to the set maker and say, I want that, and that, and that. Or you go to the concept artist and say, draw something like that, and I'll look at it, and then he can say, yeah, something like that, and he can pass on to the other people, say, I want something like that, whatever. And you've got to be like an artist in his head, I suppose, a good director.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can't think of anything I really want to talk about. The storyline is what it is. It's a good movie. It's a good action movie. One of Stallone's better action movies, I'd say.
I would say yes. I think that Sylvester Stallone would agree with you on that one, Mike. That he says this is one of he thought this was a worthwhile movie in the sense.
It's a good one. Yeah, and even the critics like this one too, for a change. You got a lot of good
I think
good feedback from all the critics and everything. Yeah. They liked it generally.
Well, it does have his major interests involved in this film. He likes a bit of humour and levity and a bit of the odd chuckle here and there in the story to make the story worth watching.
I found some information in my notes about Taco Bell.
This will be
here
good.
we go.
This will be interesting.
All right. One of the film's focal points is Taco Bell being the sole surviving restaurant chain after the franchise wars. The European version of the film substitutes Taco Bell with Pizza Hut because Taco Bell is not as well known outside the United States.
Well, that's true, Mike. I mean, the only one I have seen out, in where we live is not too far from where we live.
Yeah, the first one I've ever seen in Australia. So, but I've heard of Taco Bell, and why would you go to the expense?
I also heard of Chuck E. Cheese, but that I haven't seen that
Chuck
around
E. Cheese.
here.
Yeah, we had a Chuck E. Cheese here years ago when you were a kid. The mouse, and you had a pizza place.
I just don't seem to have a good memory.
Yeah, it's a long time ago when you were a child.
And
that's a long time ago.
Not to mention, the only things I can remember were the Macca's and Red Rooster and KFC. Those are and Pizza Hut. That's all the
and Sizzler, yeah.
And those are the only restaurants I am familiar with.
Yeah. But no, we do a Chuck E. Cheese, and then there was a pizza place for computer animatronics or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, that's where the Taco Bell and the Pizza Hut part came in. So the copy we have at the moment that we're watching must be the European version because I remember seeing the original version saying Taco Bell. So,
I have seen a lot of other movies and TV shows who talk about Taco Bell a couple times.
But they're usually American programs.
But they're mostly American or movies and TV shows.
Anyway, irrespective, that solves the Taco Bell mystery that we were discussing before.
Agreed.
So I've got lots of notes here, guys. I've got about 8 pages of notes I've downloaded from the computer. I haven't read them all yet. I can't read them all.
No, that's true.
Otherwise, I'd be here all night. I'll see if there's anything else I can throw in here. Oh, yes. Interesting bit here. Plagiarism accusation.
Ooh,
now, Hungarian science fiction writer Istvan Nemir, I think it is, says that most of Demolition Man is based on his novel Holtak Haka, or in English, Fight of the Dead, published in 1986. In the novel, a terrorist and his enemy, a counter-terrorism soldier, are cryogenically frozen and awakened in the 22nd century to find violence has been purged from society. Very similar.
But didn't you? I think I read that article bit, and I heard that the writers or the screenwriters didn't even knew about that book.
Everyone can say they didn't know about it, but I can also turn around and say there's only just so many different ideas, and the writers here got the idea of cryogenics from rich guys wanting to freeze themselves. and that sort of stuff, and utopian societies and Blade Runners and different things. Different other storylines spurred them on, but they didn't copy the book.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking
Yeah,
that
I'm just saying the accusation. So because we had there's a song "Stand by Me."
Yeah.
And it was similar in chords to another song, and the person said George Harrison copied his song. George Harrison didn't even know this guy. This song that he wrote was never on the radio. If it was very, very, very rare.
Or not very local. International.
He wasn't a well-known musician or singer or whatever, and I don't think he had a major claim, or George Harrison might have said, okay, look, he give him a few $1,000 to shut him up. I don't know, I can't remember, but he didn't have a real claim. It's sort of like 12-bar blues in music. It's 3 chords. Johnny B. Good has got the same chords as Kansas City. Who's going to complain?
Quite right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I do think it. I mean, I do get worried sometimes whenever I think about plagiarism or copyright, and I do worry about how much inspiration you can get from someone else's work.
Well, you look at the old B movies back in the olden days, back in the 50s and 40s, the sci-fis and horror movies. Okay, we have got atomic bomb goes off, the ant gets big, or the praying mantis gets big, or something else, or a giant spider, or something. It's all radioactive stuff.
Something.
Blah blah blah. They run rampant. The military comes in, blows them up, and whatever. Everybody lives happily ever after. They're all the same story almost. A different creature. That's about it. So but no one grumbled back in those days.
No.
So I don't know. I don't care.
Anyway, do you want to rate this movie?
Oh
now?
yeah, I'm going to give this about 9.5.
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh, you're good.
Well, I like Sylvester, and I admire the fact that not only did he wasn't he an actor, but he also did his own script writing, and I do admire him for wearing so many hats.
Yes. And his skills in sewing and knitting. Sorry.
Oh man, I felt sorry for that one.
Yeah. He comes out as a seamstress. The other guy comes out as a homicidal maniac. Really good. I don't know. It works for me. It's a good storyline. I believe it's available on from
DVD
Amazon, different
Amazon.
places. Yeah. So go.
It may be on stream somewhere. I don't know.
You might be able to pay for it on a streaming site, but you pay a couple of bucks. Have a look at it. Good movie. It's now we did Judge Dredd the other day, which was done a couple of years after this. Same sort of personality, but this is a far better movie in my eyes. So if you had a choice between either movie to watch, I'd watch this one, but I'd suggest you watch both of them. Okay, there you go. Aha.
Yeah. So.
Hey, I haven't bagged any trolls or anybody, have I? No. Do I bag? No, we won't do that.
No. So anyway, thanks for listening to this last episode, guys. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael Stephenson.
Saying, see you guys around.
Enjoy. Bye, guys.